Okay, in today's podcast, we're going to talk about marital conflict resolution strategies that are short-lived and often backfire. Now, not all conflict resolution strategies are created equal. In fact, many of the most common used approaches in distressed neurodiverse marriages are so short-lived and so fragile that they collapse the moment real stress returns. These methods feel good in the moment and offer a flicker of hope, or they create temporary relief, but they have no traction, no durability, and in many cases ultimately make things worse. So let's look at some strategies that couples in a neurodiverse marriage often rely on that fail to create meaningful repair or closeness. Understanding why they backfire is the first step toward replacing them with healthier, sustainable approaches. So let's look at the first one. Quick apologies. For example, "I'm sorry, can we just move on?" Many neurodiverse couples fall into the trap of issuing rapid-fire apologies simply to stop the tension. That's not genuine repair, it's conflict avoidance in disguise. Why do quick apologies backfire? The hurt partner feels dismissed, not understood. The apologizer becomes resentful because nothing truly gets resolved, and emotional wounds compound because the real issue never gets named or addressed. So remember, a rushed apology may calm the moment, but it deepens the long-term divide. The second strategy that fails is temporary overfunctioning. In other words, one partner just fixes everything. A common dynamic in neurodiverse marriages is when one partner, and it's usually the more emotionally tuned-in partner, temporarily carries the entire emotional load to keep the peace. They regulate their ASD spouse, they soften their needs, they do bridging, they tiptoe around, over-explain, and emotionally carry the relationship for both. Now, why does this backfire? Because exhaustion leads to burnout, resentment, and eventual emotional withdrawal. Also, the other partner becomes unintentionally dependent on the overfunctioning one, and the system collapses the moment the overfunctioning partner can't maintain the effort. So, short-term peace becomes a long-term imbalance. The third method that is short-lived, avoidance misunderstood as calm. Many couples mistake avoiding hard conversations for having resolved something. For example, "She seems fine now," or "She's not bringing it up anymore," or "We didn't fight today, so we must be good." No, silence is not repair. Silence is just quiet distress. So why does this backfire? Because unspoken issues grow teeth. Emotional distance deepens, and the partner doing the avoiding often feels misunderstood or overwhelmed. So keep in mind that avoidance gives temporary relief, but creates long-term fragility. The fourth strategy that is short-lived, surface-level compromises that ignore core needs. Sometimes couples agree on a quick, superficial compromise to meet halfway while completely bypassing the deeper emotional need. For example, "Fine, we'll take turns doing it your way," or "We'll talk about money once a month," or "I'll try to communicate better." So these are compromises on behavior, not on underlying meaning, values, or needs. So why does this backfire? Because the emotional root remains untouched. Compromises crumble under stress, and partners feel unheard because the issue, fear, disconnection, safety, overwhelm, is never addressed. So it's like putting duct tape over a structural crack. The fifth strategy that is short-lived, promise making in the heat of the moment. This one is extremely common in a neurodiverse marriage. For example, "I'll never do that again. I'll work on it, I promise. From now on, I'll try to be more patient," and so on. Now, these promises feel genuine in the moment, but they're not backed by a plan, structure, or skill building. Why does this one backfire? Because the promising partner feels ashamed when they inevitably revert to old patterns. The hurt partner begins to distrust all future commitments, and the relationship becomes stuck in cycles of hope, despair, and resentment. So, intent without strategy equals relapse. The sixth one is peak state agreements during good moments. Some couples make beautiful, heartfelt agreements when things are calm or going well. They map out how they want to handle conflict the next time. But the next time occurs in a different emotional state. So why does this backfire? Because agreements made in optimism don't match the intensity of real conflict. Partners forget tools when dysregulated. And couples feel demoralized because what sounded great on Tuesday collapses on Thursday. So, tools created in peace don't work if they're not trained, practiced, or embodied. Number 7, using physical affection as a shortcut to repair. A hug, a kiss, a sexual encounter, or a warm gesture can momentarily soothe tension, but often only one partner feels the rupture is truly repaired. So why does this backfire? The hurt partner feels bypassed rather than comforted. The initiating partner believes the conflict is resolved when it's simply soothed, and it creates a cycle of relying on intimacy to avoid deeper emotional work. So, affection is healing, but not a replacement for repair. Number 8, let's just forget it agreements. This is conflict resolution through mutual amnesia. Partners agree to stop the issue entirely. For example, let's not talk about this anymore. It's no big deal. Let's just move forward. Now, this may feel mature, but it's often emotional suppression masquerading as harmony. And why does this one backfire? Because unprocessed emotions return later, usually bigger. Partners become fearful of raising concerns, and tension accumulates like pressure in a sealed container. So, forgotten issues always come back. Now, why are these short-lived strategies so common in a neurodiverse marriage? Well, couples use these tactics because they want peace quickly, they fear escalation or shutdown, their nervous systems are overloaded, they lack training in deeper repair tools, they've never seen sustainable conflict resolution modeled, and neurodiverse couples often struggle with timing, overwhelmed thresholds, and emotional fluency, making quick fixes feel like the only option. But the truth is, anything designed to calm the moment, not heal the issue, breaks down fast. So now let's look at what actually works. Sustainable repair requires slowing down instead of shutting down, using structure, not spontaneity, to discuss hard issues, having agreed upon scripts and timing for conflict conversations, narrating your internal experience so your partner isn't left guessing, practicing repair skills when not in conflict so they're accessible during conflict, and addressing emotional meaning, not just behavior. So, short-term strategies relieve pressure, but long-term strategies build safety. So remember, conflict isn't the enemy, but fragile conflict resolution strategies are. Couples who rely on quick fixes end up feeling more disconnected, more exhausted, and more confused over time. But couples who slow down, create structure, and face issues with compassion and clarity build marriages that grow stronger after conflict, not weaker. So if this video resonates with you, please subscribe. And in the comments, I'd like for you to tell me what conflict resolution strategies you have tried that were very short-lived or backfired. Would you like to schedule a paid private coaching session? This will be in the form of a face-to-face Zoom call. Underneath any of my videos, you'll see this Calendly link. If you click on that link, it'll open up my calendar. You can pick the available days and times that works for your schedule. You'll get a follow-up email immediately after purchasing a session that will have the Zoom link that coincides with the day and time that you picked. I will get an email too that you scheduled a session, and I will be available on that exact day and time, and we will talk. I look forward to working with you.